Gamora, being originally born of a peace loving and peace oriented Zenwoburi tribe, grew up to have a normal life until about the age of 13. That is because the Universal Church of Truth came and committed genocide to her people, making her one of the only remaining Zenroburis in the universe. And the only reason she lived was because Thanos took her under his wing, but he didn't do that for the grace of his own heart. See, Thanos believed that Gamora could see death like he could. And because of that, he decided to take Gamora into the past. But the only reason Thanos was on the planet in the first place was because he was trying to take out the Universal Church of Truth, because they were one of the only people that could really stand in his way to do his master plan that will be revealed a little bit later. Now, Thanos had a squadron called Butcher Squadron, who, you know, was like his go to squad, go murder some people. Now, Thanos, up until this point for them, was really just ruthless and, he did whatever the fuck he wanted. But now you start bringing in this kind side that he's trying to show Gamora and give her a good, childhood as best as he can. That, on top of the recent instability that he's been showing, probably because of his love for Mrs. Death and him talking to himself, and people probably noticing that, those two things made the Butcher Squadron question him enough so that they started a mutiny that resulted in them kidnapping Gamora, but then Gamora killing one or some of them, then coming back, snitching on them to Thanos, and bringing back the rest of them. After which, they reformed Butcher Squadron with Gamora in it. So now they're just like, well, we know she is going to be Daddy's little girl and do whatever. But they really don't try that shit again later on. Now, back to this beef that Thanos had with the Universal Church of Truth. See, really and truly, Thanos has beef with the Magus. Who's the Magus? I'll explain that in a second. But him and Thanos got beef, and Thanos went to go fight him. But Gamora had a vision, or kind of a dream, that was like, Magus is gonna beat him. So Gamora goes to try and help him, but by the time she gets there, Thanos then already put them hands on Magus and basically told her, he's like, you're irrelevant. It's kind of fucked up, but I guess. But this is the kicker though. See, Thanos was tricked by the Magus on some pre-time skip type shit, because Thanos took Gamora into the past about 2 decades. And so all of this that's happening now, everything that's happened from the point to where Thanos saved Gamora on, is 2 decades in the past. So the Magus somehow did a predetermined finesse of Thanos. And what that finesse is he tricked Thanos into believing that Gamora could see death like he could, which she really can't. Being pissed off about this, Thanos decides to take his sanctuary, called Zero Sanctuary, and chunk that bitch like a missile at the headquarters of the Universal Church of Truth. This resulted in a weakening of the Magus, but not being able to outright defeat. Nah, I'm not even gonna say that. I think Thanos was just being petty, and he said, you know what? I could beat you right now, but I guarantee you Gamora over here will kill you. So from that day on, he was already training her, but now the training really began. Once again, she's still only 13 for this shit. 13 to 14. Going on a few trips, Gamora starts, not really being able to handle some of the events that are happening, so she gets broken arms and stuff. Thanos is like, I bet I got something for that. Gives her prosthetics and basically augments her body to be more resilient to, things. She gets a healing factor, fucking I'll get to the rest of that shit. But yeah, Thanos augments her body and is like, oh, while I'm at it, I should probably also make it to where she can't see my deeds as evil. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. So he does that. So now he has a killing machine that does not think what he's doing is evil, which also in turn makes it think that what she's doing isn't evil either. While trying to be compassionate or whatever is the version for compassion for Thanos, he designates a birthday for Gamora. But the kicker out of this is that it's the day that all of the Zanwolberries were killed. On top of that, he tried to make some kind of Christmas esque holiday for her where he gave her a doll. That's kind of cool, right? At age 15, while on a trip with Thanos, not listening to the words and heeding them of what Thanos says, she gets ambushed, and unfortunately, some other things happen to her that I will not explain. But because of this, Thanos pulls up, slaughters the whole lot. And then sometime after this, he adopts Nebula, who, if you've watched any of the Guardians of the Galaxy or you've played the game, you know that Gamora and Nebula do not get along. But now we get back to this whole situation with the beef between Thanos and Madras. See, Thanos sends Gamora to go finally handle that. And while she's going to go handle that, obviously she's not going to be able to do this by herself. She's nowhere near as strong as Thanos. But she does come across a one Adam Warlock. Now, Adam Warlock is important because the Magus stems from Adam Warlock expelling all the evil from his body, and that evil takes form as the Magus, who is every bit as powerful, if not, well, is more powerful than Adam Warlock because the Magus works off of faith energy. Adam also did this for the good in his body later on, where he tried to become just some pure, just very rationally sound individual, but the purity in his body also kind of became evil because it tried to wipe out all life because it was like, well, the best way to defeat evil is to eradicate all of it, which, you know, good intentions, wrong wrong way of going about it. But we're not here for Adam Warlock. Once again, with the duo of Gamora and Adam Warlock, they're able to defeat the Magus, sending them back to the Soul Gem where Adam Warlock can contain them. And as a direct result of this, the timeline changes. So the Zenwoberies are not killed by the Universal Church of Truth. However, they are still genocided by now the Badoons. And the best way I can explain what the Badoons are they are a bunch of lizard men. They're ugly and they don't give a fuck. But I mean, obviously, now Gamora got beef with the Badoons. So at age 31, Thanos tells her, he's like, "Hey, look, I got you something. I got the whole entire Badoon royal bloodline right here. Go ahead and kill them. Get your revenge." She like, "I bet." So she does what she does, finds out that there's actually another illegitimate daughter on a planet that's about to be destroyed like in hours. So risking her life, goes all the way to that planet, goes, hunts her down, doesn't kill her yet, because she starts to realize, like, dang, this rage is consuming me. It's all I'm living for. I'm better than that. She starts understanding, like, she's doing a little too much. Now, on the same planet, she also finds a little some refugees and Wolverines, and she's connecting with them, and it's like, cool. We need to get the fuck off this planet, though. These Wolverines decide their leader, they lead that nigga behind. After seeing that, she's like, wow, you fucks ain't no better than Thanos. So she decides, I'm gonna take this chick, the Badoon royal bloodline chick, and some of these other refugees and we gonna get off this planet. Fuck y'all. And bounces. Only for Nebula to pull up and try and take her in. Knowing that Nebula is the one, Nebula is there for Gamora. She's like, I'm gonna let these refugees escape, and I'm gonna go with Nebula. So she takes her back to Thanos. But by this point, Thanos is so far gone. And now that Gamora is starting to see the error of ways, she realizes Thanos is very fucked up when he starts planning to destroy the entire universe in honor of his mistress' death. Obviously, not wanting to let that shit go down, she tries to kill Thanos, but Thanos makes very quick work of her, basically leaving her left for dead until Adam Warlock somehow pulls up and takes her soul, a guy named Pips, and Adam Warlock's soul, shows them in the soul gem where they resided in until the whole situation where Thanos was trying to get his hands on the Infinity Gauntlet and, get the Infinity Stones. So during this time, Adam Warlock is able to take all their souls, put them in 3 dead bodies, and reconstruct them to make them all stronger than what they originally were. Now, Gamora didn't directly help defeat Mad Titan, but, she was there, and ultimately, that's pretty much it for Gamora, like her origins. I mean, I could go in about how she joined the Guardians of the Galaxy, but I think that'll be best done on a video about the Guardians of the Galaxy. So, in terms of Gamora, that's it for her. In terms of like her skills, obviously she was trained in hand-to-hand and weapon combat, strategy. She has a high pain tolerance. Like I said before, she has a healing factor. She's got cybernetics in her body because of being augmented, heightened reflexes, all the good shit. For anyone that's not a just super powered badass, like, let's just say anyone that's like Captain America, we don't got superpowers, but we got like heightened human abilities. Gamora's at the top with them. And she's one of the greatest. Like that's the reason she became the deadliest woman in the galaxy. And I didn't get to that, but when I do the Guardians video, I will get to that and explain how she got that name, because it kind of rolls into the Guardians of the Galaxy a little bit. But that's a video for another time. So I'll catch y'all in the next one.